while I was enjoying a few days in the mountains, I could not imagine that in the background, a project that we've been working on for more than 6 months was getting murdered. This project was mandatory for a small physical commodity trading company to go parabolic and reach higher levels this new year.
Alright guys, so let me fill you in what has just happened. It's like 6 months of work that went to the... Yeah, as soon as okay, let's do this. I'm going to go down to the city, and when I'm there, I'll fill you in. Man. Yeah. Alright guys, I'm back in Geneva, Switzerland. Weather. It's not the blue sky that we had in the Alps. Anyway, so right now I have 2 days before I leave for Asia. I really need to solve this issue. We've been working with my partners at Combat Energy on the purchase of an asset, and now one of our counterparty just told us that they will back off, that they are not going to purchase it with us. So we are short a couple of millions. So I don't know if in 2 days I can find another partner that will be okay to invest alongside us, because yes, we have a very short time frame, because then the company that owns the asset is going to be... So I mean, it's a big show, but I don't know. We'll do my best, but I don't know. But it makes me think that would be a good way for me to speak about the 4 pillars when you want to scale your commodity trading company beside just a trade flow. So first step when you have your own physical commodity trading company is you have a buyer, you have a seller, you have the money. Then you make some few trades, you have a trade flow, it starts to go well. This is basically where I am with most of my company. We have few trade flow that's pay for the charges, that's pay for the salary of the few employees. It works, you know, it makes money, but it's not incredible. But then there's like a next step if you want to scale. So basically I call it the 4 pillars, or maybe I should get another name, but there's like 4 things that you need to nail down if you want your small niche commodity trading business to go parabolic. And this is what we've been trying to do with Gamba Energy for the last year, find this next milestone to go parabolic, but we keep missing. I don't know why. It's very frustrating. But yeah, so what are those? You know what? I don't really have time to do a video now. I need to call a lot of people and try to find some solutions. So let's speak about those 4 pillars when I'm back in Asia. All right? First of all, you are right. You are right. Now we should have direct connection. You are completely right. You or me. And then the second point is, but is there like a place, a location that we can find, or it's impossible, or it's way too expensive, or you don't know yet? Yes, sure. Of course. I hear you. Alright guys, so back at the office, it was a long flight back to Asia, but I'm here. Alright, so let's speak about those 4 pillars that you need to have if you want your physical commodity trading firm, your niche commodity trading firms to go parabolic. So the first thing that you need to understand is what is the business of a commodity trading firm. I know a lot of you guys have been watching my videos for a while, so you may already know it, but I need to state it again. The value of a commodity trading firm is to de-risk the transaction for their counterparties. Again, you de-risk the transaction for their counterparty. The value of a restaurant is to provide food, all right? The value of a doctor is to heal people. The value of a commodity trading firm is to de-risk the transaction. Sending millions of US dollars from one continent to another, there is risk, there is know-how, if you want to make it safe, and this is what traders knows how to do. So for instance, let's say there is an oil well in Africa, they produce crude oil, and there is like a refinery in Japan. This refinery will feel more comfortable to buy from traders that they know how to operate. They have an office in Tokyo and so on, rather than buying directly from the oil well in Africa. All right, so it's about de-risking the transaction for both counterparties. Cool? All right, so this is the value provided by a commodity trading firm. Now, the 4 pillars. So let's start by the most important. So pillar number 1 is talent. You need the right kind of people if you want your company to go parabolic. You are not going to blow up without the right talent. So, and I know how difficult it is for small and medium commodity trading firm to hire the right talent. If you want someone cheap, you are going to take someone inexperienced, and to train them is very difficult. It takes a lot of time and so on. So yeah, this is something that is not easy, but you will need to have those talents for sure. The second pillar is media. As a small and commodity trading firms, you need to be on social media. You need to put yourself out there. Your employees need to put themselves out there. I know it's very controversial. I know if you're a commodity trader, you're watching this, you're like, what the f*** are you saying? It makes no sense. Nobody's doing that. And that's precisely the reason. It's a blue ocean for you there, and you need to go there. You will see with media, with attention, you will get, everything will be easier. The deals are going to come your way, people are going to recognize you more in your industry and so on. It takes time, but you need to be there, because this is where the legacy players are not. So actually I can make a 2 hours courses about why media is very important for small and commodity trading firm, but this is not the point of this video, but yeah, just keep in mind media is very important. The third point is funding. You need the right type of funding. So is it equity that you need? Is it debt that you need? You need to have the right capital stack in order to sustain your growth. Now everyone is always saying, oh, Damien, I can't find a financier, blah, blah, blah. And the reason that you can't find finance is because your deals are because I can tell you people that have good deals, they find finance. But anyway, that's another problem. And the type of finance, the funding that you need is going to be dependent on the last point of the pillar, which is maybe the most important, because all the other points, talents, media, and funding is going to depend on this one, which is a gap. You need to find a gap big enough for your company to grow. So you need to find a market gap that would make sense for your company to reach a certain size. Gap, in a more technical term, we could call it arbitrage, but I prefer to call it a market gap or a gap, because it englobes more things. For instance, in my company Chromatic Dragon, my chrome trading company, we've identified in the supply chain that there is a gap in the chrome washing system. So we've identified that there is a lot of people that are washing chrome. So washing chrome meaning they take low quality chrome, they wash it to have a better quality. There's a lot of people that are doing that with a small plant, and they are doing an awful job. They are not running it properly, they are losing a lot of money. So that means that there is a lot of margin to capture here. So now our plan to capture this margin, to capture this gap, is to build our own wash plant. I've been speaking about that for like 6 months now on this YouTube channel. But this is our plan to capture this gap, and this gap will bring our company to at least, yeah, if everything goes well. And this is our strategy to turn our company, Chromatic Dragon, that is now trading chrome on the local market, to the port, that is making a good amount of money, but it's not incredible, to another level. All right, see, it's by capturing this gap. Now there is another type of gap that would be like storage. For instance, the one that we are working at Grombar Energy, my other company in Romania. So at Grombar Energy, we are a distributor, and the problem with this distribution is at some point, if you want to have better margin, you need to have some strategy located storage, so then you can capture more margin. And here the asset that we wanted to buy was very well located, because they had a train system that would go there. So that means that we could take the commodity in bulk by train in the land. So then obviously we just undercut all the other people that are doing it by truck, because truck is more expensive than train. And then we can distribute it in the region at a lower cost than all our competitors. So that was a perfect solution for us to just capture some margin in our distribution operation. But yeah, let's see. Another type of gap, maybe a smaller gap, would be but you found that this custom agency doesn't ask you for a specific good document to clear your good. So maybe this document is quite expensive to get. So if you use that custom agency instead of another one, you can save up like, I don't know, like 5,000 US dollar per shipment. Or a little gap like this, maybe this gap, I mean, you can really make a big company out of it. But if you can find gaps, hole, in your own operation, you can make money. Another gap would be like operational gap. Yeah, for instance, this one. So this is something that we did when I was an employee. In a specific country, we used to buy a lot of milk powder, right? And we could only stuff the containers up to 22 metric ton per container because there was some law or some road limitation on how heavy a truck can be on the road. So we could only stuff it to 22 metric ton. But then we found a way to, instead of stuffing at the processing plant, at the dairying plant, we could stuff it at the port to a maximum of 27 metric tons. So this is a big difference. And we could bring the product by train from the processing plant to the port at a lower cost. That's what everyone is doing with just container stuff at the processing plant and then go off. So by rearranging the supply chain like this, we were way more competitive than any of our direct competitors. So gap like this that you need to identify, and if the gap is big enough, then you can really make your company go parabolic. All right, so now that you know that you need to have a gap big enough for your company to grow, the question is, how do I find a gap? Actually, gaps come from inside. So that means that you need to be in the market, you need to trade in the market to find those gaps. So you need to collect enough insight on how our market works. So then you can solidify the gap, make an analysis on the market, say, look, here, there's something that we can do. If we do this, if we buy this asset, if we rearrange the supply chain like this, if we do this or that, then we can secure better margin. And this only comes from inside. Inside, I think that you learn on the ground by working. It's not something that you can learn by having, I don't know, your ass on a chair and speaking with ChatGPT. It's really things that you discover by trading. This is what I say to everyone that start their own commodity trading firm. You will find a gap, you will discover a gap by doing work. So this is why you need to start with one trade flow. You have one buyer, one seller, you find the money. You start with this small trade flow, you make it happen, and then over the time you will discover things about your market. And this is when you will see, all right, there is an opportunity here, there is an opportunity there. But those opportunities, those gaps, you can't find them before doing the work. So start with a trade flow. And this is exactly what we did with both of our companies that are speaking on this YouTube channel, like Comba Energy and Chromatic Dragon. We started by having a buyer, having a seller, getting the money, doing some trades, having the company to be sustainable on their own. So that means that the trades are allowed to pay for the employees and something like this. It makes money. It's not incredible, but it gave us the time to find the correct gap and the one that we want to pounce on to basically build a bigger firm. So yeah, that's pretty much it. I hope that I was clear enough. Yes, about the asset that we're trying to secure. We still have one phone call tomorrow with the banker, but it doesn't look good. But anyway, if it's not this one, it's going to be something else. It's just very frustrating when you spend so much time, energy, money on something and then it doesn't materialize for. Yeah, I think that's it for the vlog. Ciao.